Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to give you an honest review of the Disney Plus service, now that we can actually get into it. And also the first episode of Star Wars The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So we're going to, talk a little bit about the Disney Plus service, some of the problems it had yesterday, what our thoughts are on the platform, and talk about some of the stuff that went on. And then we're going to talk about The Mandalorian.
That's right. Unrelated, let's be honest here. If you have dogs, that dog isn't going to put his nose in the meatball and not eat it.
I know, right? That's a well-trained,
just saying.
Well-trained dog.
That's not going to happen. But anyway.
So we're going to talk about that. We're going to be completely honest. And that's one thing that, people who followed us before on our podcast, we're going to talk a little bit about that too. Mm-hmm. We were known for that. Being honest does not mean that you are negative.
Oh my God, yes.
Necessarily. And you can be a fan of something and be critical of the direction that a franchise or a company is taking. So before we get into the video, if you guys have not subscribed yet to Clownfish TV, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Mm-hmm. That's what we do here. We also have Clownfish TV Gaming, where we do gaming videos and live streams, and Clownfish Animation, where we do art and soon animation. So we're spreading out the joy.
That's what we're trying to do. We're
trying to spread the joy out. So we're going to talk honestly about Disney Plus, and we're going to be completely objective. What prompted this? What prompted this? Yesterday, we put a video up about Disney Plus basically failing on launch day. And
well, it didn't work for a lot of people.
It didn't work.
And that wasn't just us. That was all over the mainstream media.
Yes.
I saw many people in my streams for both Twitter and Facebook talking about how it didn't work for them. For other people, it did work. I'm not sure where and when or why, how it went down. But if some people it worked, some people it didn't work. And a lot of people were like, "What worked for me? It worked for me." Well, that's cool. It worked for you.
Yeah.
But a lot of people it didn't work for. And if you don't like hearing that, I am sorry. I don't know what to tell you. It went down for a lot of people. That's just what happened.
Yeah, it was down for us. We actually couldn't even log on until late afternoon. I couldn't even download the app onto my Fire TV stick. We had finally when we got in, we got kicked off a couple of times. We had some problems with the Roku version of it having random German subtitles.
It still does today.
Yeah.
Pinky Boo was watching Princess Diaries, and for no reason whatsoever, German subtitles would pop up randomly. It happened yesterday when she watched Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah. So, completely understanding of there being bugs, right?
Right.
We completely understand that there are going to be bugs. I think where we had the issue, and I think where a lot of media outlets had an issue, was Disney should have anticipated this. They've been making such a big deal about how massive the demand was going to be for Disney Plus. They've been promoting it all over the place. They've been giving it away. They're doing a 7-day free trial now. There's a huge push for it, and they should have, honestly, given the size of the company, erred on the side of caution and bought more bandwidth or something, because it did not go well.
Beyond that, you can still understand, and I think I said in the other video, hey, it's first day, stuff happens. We understand that. Where we were having an issue was the fact that when other competitors of theirs had issues with things, they were the first ones to make comments like, well, that isn't a success. 10-hour wait time, that's not a success, that's a failure. Well, I'm sorry. A site that doesn't load when you knew there'd be millions of people subscribing is not a success. And I'm just saying they should really think twice before saying the things they say, because it came back and bit them in the butt. So maybe, not throw shade at your competitors, because then they can turn around and throw shade at you. So.
Yeah, so they better hope that the Rise of the Resistance is a slam dunk and does not have any downtime the first couple of weeks, because they really were throwing shade at Universal for the Hagrid coaster having long wait times, partially due to it being a new ride system, and also the fact that the demand was much greater than they expected.
Right. So, I mean, look, things happened the first day.
Did.
I think everybody expected there to be some issues. The German subtitles is weird, but I think everybody expected that. I think what they didn't expect was, as much as they were going on about it and how they were, using it as their leader on every discussion, through using every media access outlet they had had access to. They were promoting it, telling everybody to subscribe, giving out deal after deal after deal to get subscribers, 7-day free trial to get subscribers. They just weren't prepared. But then they said they weren't prepared for the amount of people that signed up. It's like, well, wait a minute.
Yeah,
that's all we said.
You should have been. I think that's what it boils down to, is you could, I mean, other streaming services did not have the problem. Again, they probably did not have the demand, but Disney should have anticipated, at least for the first couple of weeks, it was going to be insane.
Right, everybody trying to download it at once, because it wasn't like you could just get the, I mean, for the most part, I think there you could on some things, but for most people, they couldn't even, the app wouldn't even show up until the day it launched.
Yeah, it wasn't even
where
available.
They had it like up previously, people could have downloaded it onto their Roku or to whatever and had it ready to go, just not turned on. That might have alleviated some of the problems.
Well, some people did. Some people were able to get in early. They were able to get in the night before on Android. So it seems like the rollout was pretty inconsistent. Again, this happens. You know, this does happen. It's just that it's one of those things where if you make such a big deal about it, you know, and Disney should have had some inkling as to what the demand was going to be. Just in the pre-sales, just in the just in the fact that they were pushing it to people for free for a while with Verizon and with their cast members, but
the only number we got was how many subs they got up on the day it launched.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about that. They did here, we'll do this real quick. They did say that they got 10 million signups one day after launch. Now, I sat in on the investor call last week, and because we actually do own Disney stock, because we're Disney haters.
The stock went up, though.
Yeah, good news, the stock went up. But they said that they have no plans to release any additional Disney Plus subscriber data outside of the media conglomerate's regularly scheduled quarterly earnings call.
Which they didn't do. They were flat out asked, and they refused to give out numbers. But we were allowed to know that they had 10 million sign up the day up. We got that information. Everybody was allowed that information, not just the investors. But we won't give any other information to investors unless, they have to wait for the earnings call.
They're only going to give the positive news because they want to drive the stock price up. Disney Plus cannot fail.
Well,
they can't fail.
And as Variety pointed out, yeah, you got 10 million signups, but that's a 7-day free trial.
They did point that out. Which was very interesting that, they said that, they said a certain portion of those who have signed up won't convert to paying subscribers. It's a 7-day free trial.
Right.
And they were promoting it on the homepage of Roku, the homepage of Amazon.
But I do think that they're going to gain a lot more than they're going to lose. I mean, if I'm going to be fair and honest, I think they're going to. I mean, I honestly do. Which leads us into actually what people are here for, which is our review, and they're going to be like, you waited how many minutes to get into the video?
I don't care.
They do this all the time.
You know
what? Don't care.
I want to talk about that too. Today is World Kindness Day.
I am wearing a cardigan from Mr. Rogers.
And we're going to try to give our positives when we do the review of Disney Plus and The Mandalorian. We'll give the positives, but
we'll be honest and give whatever negatives as well. But
I do want to bring up, though, before we get into it, every time we do a Disney video, and it's
becoming more and more frequent.
It's becoming more and more frequent. We are hitting a nerve somewhere because we've been getting a lot of random accounts, people that we've never seen or heard from before, who are very quick to jump to Disney's defense or call us Disney haters or just be contrary. A lot of them have, they're brand new accounts.
Oh, I said we unsubscribed, but we can look and see that you never subscribed.
I have a tool I can see if you subscribed or not. You never did. This happens, and it mostly is just Disney videos, Star Wars videos, Captain Marvel videos. Anything else, we don't get, nobody really seems to interact. But the Disney stuff is hitting a nerve with people, and I don't know if it's actual people. I don't know if they're...
I don't think some of them are.
I don't know if it's actual people or people using multiple accounts or whatever. One thing that really kind of, freaked me out a little bit, I'll tell you, the other day I found out that there was somebody I muted months ago who didn't like the fact that anything we talked about, even remotely construed as negative with Disney, they had some snarky comment for it. So I muted them on Twitter. And I accidentally found out that they had been tweeting angrily at us for months, and I didn't
even see it because we don't even read it. So
it's like Thanos. It's like, I don't even know who you are. But you look at their tweets and replies, and it was all 90% of it was at us.
Which is funny because we're not even reading it.
It's so weird. So I don't know what's going on here. I think we hit a nerve. I'm not going to say it's Disney sending people because a lot of people are like, oh, it's Disney, but they're clearly... Geeky shaking her head.
I'm just saying it's a little odd. We called out some things like Galaxy's Edge and how it didn't have the immersion that they said that it was supposed to have, and we were like one of the ones really talking about that. And today on the Parks blog, the one person that you've named before in charge of PR has posted a thing about, look at all our cast members, how they're trained to be those characters in Galaxy's Edge, so you can come in and have immersion. It's like, why that article? Why now?
Yeah, it's very curious.
It's a curiouser and curiouser. But anyway, can we talk about what we said we were going to
talk about? Well, we're going to, but I also want to, I just want to point out people, these random accounts keep calling us Disney haters. We are far from being Disney haters. In fact, I posted this video just.
Oh yeah, because you've never been to Disney and you don't know what you're talking about. You're just jealous because you never get to go.
Here's our story. For those of you who are new to the channel, Disney has been a huge part of our lives for the entirety of our marriage, even before it.
Yeah, I used to go all the time when I was a child.
We, for a number of years, ran a Disney podcast, which we've recently brought back. We were in iTunes New Noteworthy for that. We were very honest, but we were very fair. And that led to us working on a Disney fan blog, which was very successful for a number of years. And beyond that, before that, actually, I worked on Disney comics for various publishers. Worked on, I'm not trying to brag here, but I worked on mostly top shelf archival quality stuff, including some Don Rosa stuff, including work on Disney treasures. Our house, some of the rooms like they're freaking Disney museums.
I've got a problem with Disney.
Yeah, we've got all kinds of Disney
jerseys.
stuff.
It's a real problem. I'm not going to correct that problem, but it's a real problem. So.
You know, as of just a couple of months ago, I was on Disney's approved media list. I got invited to several events at Disney. I was actually into Galaxy's Edge before it opened, as they were building it. We know a lot of people in and around the Walt Disney Company, different arms of it, the studios, the theme parks, etc., etc. We got friends who have done work for Disney. You know, anyway, you get the point. But it always floors me when we remind people of this fact, that we have these randos show up and be like...
Oh, that doesn't floor me. I think that they want you to make comments.
Yeah, you don't know anything about Disney. You know, we've even pitched animated series and had them optioned by Disney.
Yep.
You don't know anything about Disney. You don't know how the company works. You don't know anything about it. You're just a Disney hater and you're ranting. And it could not be further from the truth. The truth is, we love what the Walt Disney Company was.
I think the Walt Disney Company has forgotten where it came from.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's a very true. It's instead of being innovators, they become assimilators.
Yeah.
And Walt would not be happy with the direction of the company.
Yeah,
I don't think he would.
When they're bragging about their portfolio of IP instead of bragging about look what we invented, look what this new IP that we've come up with. When it's just like look what we acquired. It's no longer the focus isn't what it was, and I think in the last couple years we've really noticed it, and that's when a lot of people have been like, wait a minute. And all we're doing is calling out the fact that there are some questionable choices being made.
And it's not just us. There are people within the Walt Disney Company who come to us
all the time.
They do not, and these are people who've been there for years. They don't like the direction of the
various jobs in the parks and higher up in the company even. So anyway, are we going to talk about what we're supposed to talk about?
We are. I just want to get that out there for all the people who think that we're actually Disney haters. It could not be further from the truth. We just want Disney to go back to what it was.
Okay, so now we're actually going to get to the actual review, which is what we were supposed to be doing.
Okay, so Disney Plus. We did have some hiccups yesterday. It's not a lie. It's not people just trying to throw shade at Disney. I think the rollout was a cluster.
It was a cluster.
It was a cluster. They should have prepared for this. Of course, the demand was going to be high. Everybody's going to check it out just because of all the buzz.
Yeah, to be fair though, you can prepare it all you want, and something could have gone wrong somewhere.
Well, that's true.
You couldn't foresee.
Right.
And we understand that, but it's just funny because they've thrown so much shade at other people.
So that being said, once we finally got into the app and we were able to watch shows, sometimes with German subtitles, I have to tell you, I am impressed with what's available at launch.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And I'm being completely honest here. There's a lot here. There's a lot of stuff that has been, vaulted for years. There are a lot of series like, classic Disney Channel series. We've had, we've got the Disney Afternoon. We've got X-Men, the 90s X-Men show.
Gargoyles.
Gargoyles, of course, is on here.
Rocketeer, I love the Rocketeer.
Like, look at this nostalgic. I mean, these are movies. This is why we fell in love with Disney to begin with. Was the kind of, I guess, the golden era of
these.
And it feels to me like kind of the classic Disney Channel where it was all actual Disney stuff. It wasn't just like sitcoms for teenagers. Now that stuff is on here too, but for old heads like us to have all of these shows, to have Gargoyles and Great Mouse Detective, they actually took the time to go in a lot of these movies, even their lesser known movies, to upscale a lot of them in 4K.
Well, I told my parents when I saw about this and the list was coming out, I immediately told my mom to subscribe because I know she really, really likes the older Disney movies, and it was really hard to get them even on DVD. And there was a lot of the ones I know she liked that were going to be out here. So as soon as they came out, they were watching those, and I guess I said the color was really good, and my mom was very happy about that. Pinky Boo, first thing she did was watch Hunchback of Notre Dame because she never got to see that one before.
And it looked really good.
Yeah, so that's the first thing she did. Really
good. And they have, they even have the extras from the DVDs on The Great Mouse Detective, which I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like this is a movie that most people don't care about anymore. Robin Hood, one of my favorites. I know you don't really like it, but right. I mean, to see all this stuff on here presented in the way that it's been presented, to have it in 4K resolution, it is like
it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. I can't knock that. I can't knock it. To see a lot of the Disney Channel stuff that we grew up with be on here.
They have all those new shorts on there.
Yeah, Chippendales Rescue Rangers.
I can't watch I'm sorry, I'm not gonna watch it. I can't do it. I know it has I can't take the emotional drainingness of that today. So
sorry.
My friends keep telling me, you need to watch it. I'm like, I can't do it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Casey Underfoot cover, Pinky Boo loves that show.
Well, I was surprised there's even, show that Squid King watched when he was a little out of the box, which has never been available on DVD that I know of. It was on here.
It's funny because Pinky Boo has always, I like Candle Shoe. Pinky Boo has always been like, I never saw Out of the Box. I kind of want to see Out of the Box. And now she can watch it. Oh, That Darn Cat's on there too.
That Darn Cat. I mean, look at these are
detectives. There's a lot of really good ones.
A lot of these movies, now, just to be clear, like if you're a Disney fan, an old school Disney fan, a lot of these movies have not been available in wide release.
I forgot all about that
Bonkers.
One.
Like freaking nobody cares about Bonkers. But some people do, it's on here. And a lot of these have extra features and stuff.
Apparently, because Gargoyles was trending yesterday on Twitter and everything, and everybody's really going nuts for it being on Disney Plus. The creator is now out there trying to get another season done of Gargoyles, is petitioning.
I could see that. Okay, so I want to talk again. This is Mr. Rogers' World Kindness Day. I want to talk about the potential positives of Disney Plus. It is a very good possibility because they are looking for new content, that they might go the Netflix route and actually, add new seasons of old shows.
I'm so afraid they're just going to make everything live action versions of everything or reboots of everything. That is my negative. Stop, for the love of God. Just stop live actioning and rebooting everything. Go back to being innovators and stop being, assimilators. That's
the problem we're having.
Oh, please.
And the thing is it's not that they're buying IP. It's that it's Bob Iger's mentality versus even Michael Eisner. I mean, Michael Eisner had his faults, but he still had something inside of him that he wanted to innovate. For the most part, he pushed with the parks and stuff. Iger just seems like even the way Iger talks about the company and the stuff that they own. When in the meetings, he talks about their portfolio of IP. It's a very corporate. Here we go, Darkwing Duck, Gargoyles. But he talks about his portfolio of IP, and that's just kind of really disheartening because a lot of this stuff meant a lot to people. And again, talking about that assimilation versus innovation. George Lucas, we talked about that this morning. He was a master storyteller.
Yep.
Jim Henson was a master storyteller. Walt Disney, of course, was a master storyteller. These were, great men. But now that Disney has bought, Newsies. Now that Disney has bought the Muppets, they don't know what to do with them.
No.
They have no idea because they're not Jim Henson. And the smartest thing I think they could do with the Muppets, and they never will do it, is sell them back to the Henson Company. After watching The Dark Crystal, I'm like, no, you give it back to the Hensons because they can do it right. But they won't do it. And Star Wars, they've horribly mismanaged Star Wars because they don't get it. They're just collecting brands and not realizing that you have to have the brain power. And you have to have the feel
of each brand.
They feel different.
They're all different. You can't just Disney-fy them and say it's going to work. Speaking of that, are we going to finally talk about The Mandalorian? Because that's what people are here, and they're probably going to get so mad that they came for the Mandalorian review.
Then let them get mad.
Just make sure in the write-up you say the Mandalorian review is later in the video.
I'm going to do that. Now, okay, so we watched The Mandalorian finally last night. That is, now Pinky Boo's been watching Disney Plus all day. I am gonna say for Disney Plus in general, I would give it the B plus. I think it's got a lot of potential, but it did have some problems.
Right.
You know? But
yeah,
it's
German subtitles just randomly pop up for no reason. Like just like a one sentence and it disappears.
Yeah.
And then it pops up again later. It's just really strange.
It's worth it just for the archive of the old material,
Right.
I think. $6 a month. I think that's gonna go up. But for now, $6.99 a month is dirt cheap. Like you can't buy the DVDs as stuff for that. Mandalorian. Okay, this is what they're betting everything on is the new content. And, you know, we're going to bring Star Wars back in a big way. And they have Dave Filoni working on this and Jon Favreau working on this. And, okay, I'm trying to figure out how to tackle this because there have been a lot of people that are like, oh my God, I love it.
Okay. The Mandalorian has potential. Honestly, I felt it was very, disjointed. It was it was pretty, but looks and substance aren't the same thing.
Yeah.
And I can see where it can have more substance as it goes. So you can't base it all on the first episode. They were really short too, by the way.
It was
the
pretty
episodes
short,
seemed pretty short, and there's only 8 of them. But you didn't learn enough about anything really, other than he was an orphan, and he seems to like kids. And likes to shoot things, and you know is a wild. It's like a wild western whatever. There really isn't much to know yet. It's like you're like okay, and just being honest. I mean, I'm not saying it was bad. It wasn't like super great though either. It was kind of like okay, I can see this might get better.
Right.
There's not enough to go on.
Yeah, I think that's the problem I'm having with it too. A lot of people are raving about it, and I'm like, did we watch the same show? And I don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't really have an opinion on it.
There's not enough of it to make an opinion on.
Now we will get into some spoiler territory here, so just FYI, if you haven't seen it yet, tune out now. But it felt like a lot of one. It was definitely, you know, they were trying to appeal to nostalgia.
Right.
Like there's
no doubt.
Virtually everything in this episode was a throwback to the original trilogy.
It's kind of like The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
In that regard.
And even some stuff that, you know, personally, I didn't think made a lot of sense. Now, I'm sure there are people out there with the expanded universe, which I don't really follow that closely, who are going to, you know, correct me on this. But I thought it was kind of strange that just to get the carbonite freezing in there, he had like a mini carbonite freezing unit on his ship, when I thought in Empire it wasn't normally done to living beings. They had to check to make sure Han Solo was still alive. They usually used it for gas, for the gas they were mining on Bespin. That was my thought. And I'm sure there are going to be expanded universe people jump in here and be like, nuh-uh, actually, in this comic
you know,
they
and
had...
the thing is, for the general audiences, this is what...
For general audiences.
The majority of people were coming from that angle.
Because that was kind of like, it was a big deal when they froze Han, because they wanted to try it on Han first before they did it to Luke, to see if it would actually work. So they tried it on Han. It was kind of a big deal. But now he's got like a whole like closet full of frozen bounties. And I'm like, well, maybe in the time after the Empire they perfected it, but why does he have it on his ship?
I don't know.
It took a big, you know, unit.
I think it kind of makes sense though. I mean, especially that guy he had is kind of annoying as heck, and they're all trying to get away. So isn't it easier just to freeze their butts and not have to worry about it?
Yeah. So I want to talk about that guy.
Okay.
Okay. So, and Squid King brought this up too. That guy did not feel Star Wars. That his bounty.
He felt more Star Trek.
He felt like a cross between Star Trek and Marvel. He felt like a.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Squid King was like, this feels like Marvel, because the guy was making all kinds of jokes about going to the bathroom, his bounty, the alien dude, whatever. He looked like a Star Trek character but Marvel.
But you're right.
Jokes.
He kind of did feel like Marvel-y looking too. Like like a young kind of.
Yeah, like he belonged in Guardians of the Galaxy, not Star Wars.
Yeah, no, that's actually a valid point. He didn't say it to me, but that's actually, I can see that.
You know, they had Star Wars Uber, where they were blowing the flute and they were pulling the speeders up, and that was cool to see Nick Nolte. It's cool to see Carl Weathers, you know, but it still. it looked like Star Wars, but it didn't feel like Star Wars. I don't
necessarily think it didn't feel like Star Wars. To me, it does. They had enough in there. They were definitely trying.
They were trying very, very hard.
And it was kind of like, it reminded me of was like The Force Awakens, where they were trying really hard to make it to the place where they're reusing a lot of things because they want to make sure that it's familiar, which makes sense because it's the same universe.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it's one that'll probably get better as it goes. It's just that because the episodes are so short, you cannot really establish much in an episode. So it's one that's going to take like being able to sit down and watch multiple episodes, I think, for it to be.
Yeah, and that's, yeah.
Now, one thing that was cool was the IG unit.
I will. Okay, so that was one thing I commented on because I'll be honest. Up until the gunfight at the end, I was pretty bored throughout the whole episode.
It just felt very disjointed.
It just felt very disjointed. Like it was very, very slow. And then all of a sudden we had like all this stuff happen at once.
Yeah.
And it was just like the pacing was really weird.
Even Squid King said the pacing just seems strange on this.
It's strange.
Yeah.
Like I have to be honest. I actually got into Solo more than I got into this. But the IG unit.
Well, before you say that real quick, I was going to say about the pacing. I don't think when they started this, they were thinking they were going to just do one episode a week. I think they did that because they're like, oh, if we drop them all at once, people are going to subscribe and quit.
Yeah.
And I get the vibe that they were planning on doing it as a dump that you can watch it back to back to back to back, and then it would make sense. Or that after the episode's released, for people coming into it like 3 months from now, they can watch it back to back to back. And I don't think you're going to have that pacing issue when you see it in its entirety. As an episodic, it has a pacing issue. Anyway, continue.
Well, no, I was going to say that happens a lot with Netflix shows, too. There have been Netflix shows that I wound up loving, but I didn't love the first episode. Umbrella Academy was one where I thought the first episode was pretty slow. And then as I gave it a chance and watched 2 or 3 episodes, I'm like, wow, I actually really like the show. This could be a case of that. But again, because Disney's not doing the binge model like Netflix does.
Well, they're afraid everybody's just going to grab it, Mandalorian, and yeah.
But it's also not a very good first impression either, because people might watch and be like, oh, this show's boring, I'm not subscribing. So it might actually backfire. I don't know. But people are going to subscribe for other stuff anyway. But the IG unit, yeah. So I always wondered how the IG units moved in real life, because of course, like many kids in the 80s, I had an IG-88 action figure, and I remember thinking to myself, even as a little kid, why is this guy a bounty hunter? Like, he doesn't even look, he's basically just a doorstop. Like, how does he move? Why is this droid threatening? And then when the prequels came out and you saw the battle droids and how articulated they were, I'm like, IG-88 looks like a brick. Like, he's completely non-threatening. And then to actually see an IG unit move, and
it's really cool.
And I think they put a lot of thought into this, how it swivels around, and because they did.
It's really cool. You should watch it just for that. It's neat how they actually show you how an IG unit would work, and now you can understand it. And it's really cool, just if nothing else, just for that.
Yeah. So I mean, that definitely was a positive to see an IG unit move in real life. But I can't really grade the show yet because we haven't seen enough of it to it's one episode. It felt like a bunch of concept art, and even at the end, the end credits, they had all the concept art. I'm like, they basically just took all these paintings and filmed them, and they had all this cool looking stuff and aliens, and they had the big monster in the ice, and they had the ships, and they had, but it
looks cool, but it's like they took a bunch of pieces of art and they tried to fit it together to a story, but it doesn't necessarily fit together that well.
And I'm actually finding myself agreeing with Vox for once. I normally don't, but they said that Mandalorian is a triumph of atmosphere and little else. It looked good.
It's only one episode.
It's only one episode, but the main character, the protagonist, has zero personality.
So far, yeah.
He's just a random, now that might change.
Again, I think it was meant to be binge watched, not episodically. But
now, one thing that could potentially irk Star Wars fans, George Lucas purists, and again, I warned you about spoilers, is at the very end of the episode, he finds a baby Yoda. This could potentially be problematic because George Lucas said on many occasions, and I don't know if he's backpedaled, but Disney doesn't listen to George anyway. He never wanted a whole lot of detail about Yoda's race explained, and we have a baby Yoda at the end. I'm like, oh no. Are they going to take the baby Yoda back to Yoda's planet and finally explain where Yoda came from? I don't know.
Well, no, that's the bounty. I don't know. But we see a kinder, gentler Mandalorian where he, reaches out for his little finger, the baby Yoda finger, and
he let go. It's
like E.T.
He let go of his, let go of his toxic masculinity to touch the baby. Yeah, I don't know. That a lot of people were worried about that. They're like, "Oh my God, they're going to explain Yoda's species," and
that's
George
one
Lucas
thing he said.
But there's a lot of things he said that they did.
We don't know. We don't know what they're going to do. It's the first episode. Like I said, we said everything we were going to say about it for the most part. It's not terrible. It's not amazing. It's one of those things you're going to have to honestly see more to be able to make any kind of call on it. And
I can't really, because it's not a complete story, I can't really give you an honest opinion on it. Now, I did not have the reaction I had to The Last Jedi, where within the first 15, 20 minutes of the movie, I was like, hell no.
Well, the first 15 or 20 minutes of this, and it's almost over. I mean, if you're going to be fair,
it's supposed to be 40 minutes long. It didn't feel 40 minutes long. So it almost feels like this was supposed to be the Boba Fett movie, and
it's broken up into small chunks.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to stand by what I said with that. So anyway, we're going to wrap this one up because
we got things to do.
You have an appointment, so.
I do have an appointment. So yeah, our thoughts. Disney Plus, again, I'm actually being positive. I think it is worth $6.99 a month.
Yeah, definitely worth $6.99 a month.
Especially if you're a Disney fan. I think they'll get the hiccups worked out. The new content, it's just too early to say.
Oh, I have to watch some more stuff.
Yeah, I want to watch this.
We haven't got to watch much. I want to watch Noelle. I want to see I do hear that the Imagineering show is amazing, so I do want to see some of that. I'm excited. I really am excited to check out the Imagineering one. So we're gonna look into it and let you know more as we get a chance to actually sit down and look at stuff. Yeah.
Oh, one quick thing too. The Simpsons. I guess people were having problems with the Simpsons because it was promised to be in 4.3 aspect ratio, and they cropped it, and they cropped some of the jokes out, but maybe they'll fix that. I don't know. I mean, other than that, they've been pretty thorough, like I said, adding all the extras.
So is it worth it? Yes.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, the long and short of it is, it's worth $6.99.
Mandalorian, don't know yet. This whole video, we could have summed it up like that. Yes, it's worth it. Don't know yet. It's World Kindness Day for Mr. Rogers, and remember that.
Yeah, but that's like 2 minutes. We need like a 20-minute video.
I don't know.
All right, so we're going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants here on Clownfish TV. Or don't if you don't like us, and that's okay with us.
That's fine, whatever.
Whatever floats your boat. We'll talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Clownfish TV. Please consider supporting the channel. Go to clownfishsupport.com. That's clownfishsupport.com. And if you want to join our community, go to clownfishtalk.com. That's clownfishtalk.com. Please subscribe. Ring the bell for notifications. We will talk to you next time.